Welcome to Miss Scarlett. Subscribe and don't miss out on Patreon. Have fun! Luke had always felt a certain fascination with women's clothing. It started as a curiosity, a secret admiration for the way certain fabrics hugged a woman's body, the way a simple dress could make them look and feel so elegant, so powerful. But it was more than just admiration. It was a desire to experience that feeling himself. Just a weird fascination, that's all. He would tell himself. Doesn't mean anything. But the thoughts kept creeping back, stronger each time. It was like a tug in his chest, a silent yearning that wouldn't let go. He'd find himself wandering into the women's section of stores, discreetly browsing through the racks, imagining himself in those outfits. The urge to try something on was almost overwhelming, but fear always held him back. Who am I kidding? I can't just... One lonely Friday night, Luke was browsing the web, flipping through random pages as a means to pass the time. That's when he stumbled upon a website selling women's clothing. His heart skipped a beat as he clicked through the categories, his eyes widening at the array of dresses, skirts, and blouses on offer. This is insane. I shouldn't even be looking at this stuff. But he couldn't tear himself away. His heart raced as he imagined himself in those outfits, feeling the soft fabric against his skin, the swish of a skirt as he moved. It was a foreign yet enticing sensation, and he found himself unable to resist any longer. With shaking hands, he selected a simple black dress, a pair of stockings, and a wig of flowing brown hair. His fingers hovered over the buy button, his breath coming in short gasps. What am I doing? This is crazy. But the desire was too strong. He clicked, and the order was placed. The package arrived a few days later, discreetly wrapped and delivered to his apartment. Luke's heart was pounding as he opened the box, his hands trembling as he pulled out the contents. He laid the dress on his bed, running his hands over the soft fabric, a mixture of excitement and fear washing over him. It's now or never. He shut the door, drew the curtains, and locked himself in his room. With careful precision, he removed his clothes and set them aside, taking a moment to steel himself before donning the stockings and dress. The fabric slid over his skin, sending shivers down his spine. He slipped on the wig, the long brown strands falling around his shoulders. In the mirror, he saw a reflection he had always yearned for, but never believed he'd see. Am I dreaming? Is this really me? The person staring back at him was a woman, a stranger, but somehow familiar. He turned this way and that, admiring the way the dress hugged his body, the way the wig framed his face. A strange warmth spread through him, and a smile curled the corners of his mouth. I like it. The realization hit him like a wave. This wasn't just an experiment or a curiosity. It felt right. Over the next few weeks, Luke found himself sneaking into his newfound persona whenever he had a moment of privacy. He'd lock himself in his room, shedding his male identity like a second skin, and emerge as the woman he'd always felt himself to be. He experimented with makeup, watching online tutorials to perfect the art of contouring and highlighting. The transformation was thrilling. He learned to define his features, accentuating his eyes and lips. This is me. This is who I am. Michelle, the name he chose for his female identity, became his solace, his escape from the mundane and the ordinary. He'd lose himself in the ritual of transformation, shaving his body smooth, painting his nails, and slipping into delicate lingerie. The feeling of the soft fabrics and the swish of skirts became a comforting embrace. I feel alive. This is who I'm meant to be. As Michelle, he exuded a confidence he never knew he possessed. He'd strut around his apartment, practicing his walk in high heels, feeling the power that came with each step. The swish of a skirt, the click of heels on the floor. It was like music to his ears. I could get used to this. Luke soon realized that his female persona was becoming an integral part of his life. He'd find himself thinking about Michelle during the day, planning outfits, and imagining new looks. It wasn't just a hobby or a pastime. It was an essential part of his identity. Maybe I should take this further. The thought terrified and excited him in equal measure. He began to venture out as Michelle, starting with a walk in the park at dusk, the long wig and wide-brimmed hat providing a sense of anonymity. The breeze played with the hem of his skirt as he strolled, and he felt a rush of excitement with each step. No one knows it's me. I could be anyone. He'd sit on a bench, watching the world go by, feeling a sense of freedom and anonymity. As Michelle, he could be whoever he wanted, a new person, a secret identity unknown to the world. I feel invisible, but in a good way, like I'm finally myself. As the days turned into weeks, his outings became bolder. He'd take the bus into town, browsing in stores, and even daring to order a coffee as Michelle. The thrill of being seen, of existing in the world as his true self, was indescribable. This is living. Luke's transformation into Michelle became a regular part of his routine. He'd spend his weekends as his female self, exploring the city and embracing the freedom and excitement of his new life. But it wasn't just about the clothes and makeup. It went deeper than that. I feel like I'm understanding myself better, like I'm becoming the person I was meant to be. As Michelle, he felt a sense of calm and contentment that he had never known before. The simple act of putting on a dress and stepping out into the world as a woman brought him a joy he couldn't deny. He'd catch his reflection in store windows, secretly admiring the woman he saw, feeling a sense of pride and ownership. This is me, Luke. This is who I am. One rainy afternoon, as he watched the raindrops slide down the window, he realized that Michelle wasn't just a persona or a hobby. It was an expression of his true self. He wanted to be her all the time, not just in stolen moments. Being a girl, it makes me happy. Truly happy. The realization hit him like a ton of bricks. He wasn't just a man who enjoyed cross-dressing. He was a woman trapped in a man's body. The clothing, the makeup, they were just outward expressions of an inner truth he had been afraid to face. Am I trans? The word hung in the air, heavy with significance. As the days turned into weeks, Luke's understanding of his identity became clearer. He spent more and more time as Michelle, embracing the feminine aspects of his personality that had been suppressed for so long. He found himself gravitating towards typically feminine interests and hobbies, not because he felt they were expected of him, but because they brought him genuine joy.
I never knew baking could be so fun, or that painting my nails could make me feel so relaxed. The simple acts of self-care and indulgence that society often relegated to women were liberating and empowering. He savored the feel of a face mask on his skin, the scent of floral perfumes, and the softness of a plush robe. Being a girl isn't just about how I look. It's about how I feel inside. As he delved deeper into his new life, he began to understand the complexities and nuances of gender. He read stories of other trans individuals, realizing that his experience wasn't unique, that there was a whole community of people who had gone through similar journeys of self-discovery. I'm not alone in this. The realization brought him comfort and strength. He no longer felt like he was navigating this uncharted territory alone. He was part of a broader movement, a growing acceptance and celebration of diverse identities. I can be me, unapologetically. As time went on, Luke's transformation into Michelle became a permanent fixture in his life. He no longer saw it as a secret hobby or a separate identity.
It was a seamless extension of himself. He'd wake up in the morning and decide who he wanted to be that day, knowing that both identities were valid and true. Today feels like a Michelle kind of day. The process of getting ready became a cherished ritual. He'd take his time, enjoying the feel of the warm shower on his smooth skin, carefully shaving and exfoliating. Selecting an outfit became an art form, and he'd spend time coordinating colors and styles, always with an eye for what made him feel confident and beautiful. This pink blouse brings out the color in my eyes, and these heels, they give me such a power boost. As he stepped out into the world as Michelle, he felt a sense of wholeness and authenticity. He'd chat with colleagues at work, go for drinks with friends, and walk down the street with his head held high, no longer afraid of being seen. "Hey, Michelle! Love your outfit today!" The compliments and affirmations he received only solidified his sense of self. He realized that being Michelle wasn't just about his appearance, it was about the way he carried himself, the confidence and joy that radiated from within. "I'm not just dressing up as a woman, I am a woman, inside and out." Luke's journey of self-discovery had transformed him in ways he never imagined. As he reflected on his progress, he realized that embracing his true self as Michelle had brought him a happiness he'd never known before. "I used to feel so stagnant, so trapped, but now I feel like I'm finally living." The simple act of accepting and embracing his feminine side had unlocked a world of possibilities. He felt more in tune with his emotions, more connected to his body, and more comfortable in his own skin. The anxiety and uncertainty that had plagued him before were replaced with a sense of peace and self-love. "I'm no longer at war with myself. I accept and love all parts of me." As Michelle, he had discovered a newfound passion for life. He threw himself into new experiences, no longer held back by fear or self-doubt. He'd take dance classes, try new restaurants, and embark on solo travels, always eager to explore and expand his horizons. Life is too short to hide who I am. The support and acceptance he received from those around him only reinforced his sense of belonging. His friends and family embraced Michelle with open arms, celebrating the happiness and confidence she brought to Luke's life. "We love seeing you shine, Michelle." As Michelle, Luke had found a sense of freedom and authenticity that transformed every aspect of his life. He embraced his true self, no longer afraid to let the world see the woman he felt he truly was. The simple act of putting on a dress had unlocked a journey of self-acceptance and joy. "Being a girl makes me happy. It makes me feel whole." With a mixture of excitement and trepidation, he began to research local groups and events. He stumbled upon a weekly meetup for transgender individuals at a cozy cafe downtown. The thought of attending sent a thrill of nervousness through him, but he knew it was a step he needed to take. "I can do this. I need to do this." The following Saturday, Michelle found herself standing outside the cafe, her heart pounding in her chest. She had taken extra care with her appearance that day, choosing a flowy sundress and a pair of sandals that made her feel pretty and confident. With a deep breath, she pushed open the door and stepped inside. The cafe was warm and inviting, with soft lighting and the gentle hum of conversation. Michelle's eyes scanned the room, taking in the diverse group of individuals gathered around the tables. There were people of all ages, ethnicities, and expressions of gender, chatting and laughing together like old friends. "Wow, this is amazing." A friendly face approached her, a tall woman with a bright smile and a name tag that read, Sarah. "Hi there! Welcome to our meetup! I'm Sarah, one of the organizers. Is this your first time here?" Michelle nodded, feeling a sudden rush of shyness. Yes, it is. I'm Michelle." Sarah's smile widened, It's wonderful to meet you, Michelle. We're so glad you decided to join us. Come on, let me introduce you to some of the others. As Sarah led her around the room, making introductions and sharing stories, Michelle felt a sense of belonging wash over her. These were people who understood her journey, who had faced similar struggles and triumphs. They welcomed her with open arms, making her feel seen and accepted in a way she had never experienced before. I can't believe I've found my people, my community. As the meetup progressed, Michelle found herself opening up, sharing her own story, and listening to the experiences of others. She learned about the different paths people had taken to discover their true selves, the challenges they had faced, and the joys they had found along the way. I never knew there were so many ways to be trans, so many unique stories and journeys. One person in particular caught Michelle's attention, a young woman named Lily with bright blue hair and a contagious laugh. They struck up a conversation, bonding over their shared love of fashion and their experiences navigating the world as transgender women. I love your dress, Michelle. Where did you get it? Michelle blushed, feeling a flutter of excitement at the compliment. Thank you. I actually found it at a little boutique downtown. I could show you sometime if you'd like. Lily's eyes sparkled. I'd love that. It's so nice to have a shopping buddy who gets it, you know? As the meetup came to a close, Michelle found herself exchanging numbers with Lily and several other new friends. She left the cafe feeling energized and inspired, her heart full of warmth and gratitude. I can't wait to see them all again next week. Over the next few months, Michelle's involvement with the transgender community deepened. She became a regular at the weekly meetups, forming close bonds with the other members. They'd share stories, offer advice and support, and celebrate each other's milestones and accomplishments. I never knew how much I needed this, to be part of something bigger than myself. Michelle and Lily's friendship blossomed, and they began to spend more and more time together outside of the meetups. They'd go on shopping sprees, trying on dresses and giggling over accessories. They'd have movie nights at each other's apartments, curled up on the couch with a bowl of popcorn and a cheesy rom-com. I feel like I've known you forever, Lily. Like we were meant to be friends. As their connection grew, Michelle began to confide in Lily about the challenges she still faced in her journey. She shared her fears about coming out to her family, her worries about being accepted at work, and her struggles with dysphoria and self-doubt. Sometimes I still feel like an imposter, like I'm not a real woman. Lily listened with empathy and understanding, offering words of encouragement and reassurance. She shared her own experiences, reminding Michelle that her feelings were valid and that she wasn't alone. You are a real woman, Michelle. Never doubt that. Your journey is your own, and you're exactly where you're meant to be. With Lily's support and the love of her community, Michelle found the strength to take the next steps in her transition. She began hormone therapy, marveling at the subtle changes in her body and the way they made her feel more aligned with her true self. I never knew how much I needed this, to feel at home in my own skin. She also started to explore her options for gender confirmation surgery, researching doctors and procedures with a mix of excitement and nervousness. Lily was there every step of the way, accompanying her to appointments and holding her hand through the tough decisions. I'm so proud of you, Michelle. You're so brave and strong. As Michelle's physical transition progressed, she found herself grappling with the complexities of her identity in new ways. She had always known she was a woman, but now she was beginning to understand the nuances and intersections of her various identities.
Thanks for watching, my girlies! Be sure to check out Patreon for more!